Pattaya City Expats Club is a non-profit social organisation and our speakers are volunteers. The club as such assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional reputation of or the quality of services provided by the speaker today.
Is going to be C.V. Geikie. He was the founder and a member of the MVG Cancer Foundation, and his topic is going to be cancer prevention is better than cure. He's going to explain about body chemistry and how to prevent a number of diseases, including cancer, by making certain changes in our day-to-day life and provide guidance on certain breathing exercises. So if that sounds interesting to you, please pay attention. Okay, you're on.
Just before Mr. Geikie speaks, he does have an Indian accent. If you're having trouble with a particular sentence or something, he said, please raise your hands and I can always translate.
I'm sorry.
Very good morning, everybody. Very good, like this. Very good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Firstly, I would like to thank Mr. Van and all distinguished members of Pattaya City Expats Club for having invited me here and giving me privilege to address this vibrant young gathering this morning. MVG Cancer Foundations, working with the principle on prevention is better than cure. Today I am going to share with you how to prevent number of diseases, including cancer, by taking simple precautions by changing in our day-to-day life. Foundation believes that healthy society makes healthy nation. Our foundation mission is to make the world to be healthier and happier place. When 5 years before, my dearest friends suffered from cancer, it was shock to me. Then I decided to learn about the cancers, and after studying 3 years from different sources about the cancer, I understood the chemistry of cancerous cells and how to prevent it. A lot of people having the misconceptions about the cancer. Some people think it is a contagious disease. It is well proved that the cancer is purely believed it depends on your individual body chemistry. So if any cancer patients come across you, then you can help him without any fear. Secondly, some people are thinking it is non-curable. But now the chemistry, the science is developed. It is well curable only by certain medical treatments and exercise. Today I am going to explain you about the body chemistry and how we prevent the cancer by controlling that in our day-to-day life by PowerPoint presentations and some breathing exercise. Like this. You see here, we are working on this, the prevention is better than cure. Few years before, the scurvy was a disease. The people are fearing lots, lot of people suffered, lot of people making the money from this disease. But after studying, people discovered that it is not a disease, but it is a deficiency of vitamin C. And now the people are regularly taking the vitamin C in their foods in day-to-day life. And now this disease will not fail anywhere. Same as the cancer is also not a disease, but it is a deficiency of the vitamins B17, also the alkaline environment of the body, and percentage of oxygens in our body. If we maintain these three factors in our day-to-day life, first is the alkalinity of our body fluid. Second, by taking some vegetable, I will explain you. And secondly, the oxygen level of our body. If we keep intact all the time, these two factors, a lot of diseases are prevented, including cancer. Here now, as per survey, it was discovered that more than 60% of cancer affected patients are in the prime of their life, between the age of 35 to 65 years. 12% of the death occurred due to cancer. The second highest cause of the death. But first, I am explaining you about the body chemistry and little bit cancer chemistry, and afterwards I will explain you how to prevent it. The Dr. Harold Manner, in a book named Death of Cancer, has stated that the success of cancer treatments with lateral. The lateral from where we'll get, that I will also explain to you. About this, Dr. Otto Warburg is a Nobel Prize winner in 1931. He says no disease, including cancer, can exist in an alkaline environment. Means if we keep our body fluid always in alkaline medium, then the cancer is not there. He also proved that every single person who has a cancer has a pH that is too acidic. Secondly, he says, this is the statement that the cancerous tissues are acidic. The cancer does not survive in alkaline states. Cancerous tissues are acidic, but the healthy tissues are alkaline. So if we keep all the time our tissues, means body fluids, in alkaline medium, then we can prevent the cancers. Second is that the oxygen level of the body fluid. Dr. Warburg he also discovered that the cancer cell never survive in oxygenated atmosphere. He proved that the cell deformed cell cannot live in oxygen-rich environments. Means if we keep our body fluid always in oxygen levels is higher size, so the cancerous cell never survive. The prime cause of is the replacement of the respirations of oxygen in normal body cells by fermentations of sugar. And so, if our body via respiration is not intact, so the fermentations of sugar is there and oxygen levels is go down, the normal tissue will not get the sufficient amount of oxygen and it becomes a cancerous cell. The normal healthy cells produce a uric acid which supplies the energy to living cells through the Krebs cycles when oxygen is present, and this function is prohibited in cancerous cells. So in our body fluid, always we require the sufficient amount of oxygen. He also found that the cancerous cells contain a high fermentation values that comes very close to the fermentation values of the widely proliferating toluene. It means cancerous cells is not having any oxygen percentage. It is just like the fermentation values The trace lifestyle, no exercise and a diet high in sugar and processed food, feed yeast means a trace, sugar and yeast and fungus feed cancer. That is in our diet, if we control our lifestyle in day to day in correct way, so the possibility of the cancers is less. Cancer shall never survive. The lifestyle with reductions of the trace, plenty of fresh air, moderate exercise, pure water and diet with mostly organic fresh fruits and green leafy vegetable plus a body in a state of pH balance. So for maintaining the pH balance, we should always do the exercise, taking the foods in correct way. Then that I will also explain you. Then how we can maintain the oxygen level of the body. The Warburg band on being the second Nobel Prize on this, he has shown that the cancerous cells can live and develop even in the absence of oxygen. That is, even in absence of oxygen, the cancerous cells start to absorb the glucose from our body, that is sugar from our blood, and it survives. And the multiplication is going on. So we have to always try to keep our oxygen level of the body at higher sides. The cause of cancer is the replacement of the respiration of oxygen in the normal body cells by fermentation of sugar. Because no cancerous cell exists, the respiration of which is intact. Means cancer could be prevented if the respirations of the body cell would be kept intact. In short, prevention is the best cure. How much body oxygen levels we require? The oxygen saturation measures how much oxygen in the blood is carrying continue with its full capacity, take by oximeters. The unit of this is SpO2, is greater than, it should be 95%. Is generally considered to be the normal. If it is percentage is 92% or less, that is suggested to be hypoxemia. In a patient with acute respiratory illness or the breathing difficulties, SpO2 of is 92% or less may be indicate a need of oxygen supplementation. In a patient with a stable chronic disease, SpO2 is 92% or less, should prompt refer for further investigations of the need for the long-term oxygen therapy. Then this SpO2 our oxygen, how it is work in our body. This is the way. When we inhale the oxygen, it goes to the lungs. In lungs, there are the red body cells that in blood and hemoglobin molecules. It absorbs that oxygen. This oxygen carrying hemoglobin, it will go to the normal body cells, tissues, and then it releases to these tissues. And then it is going on. The SpO2, it should be always 95%. That is, just example, if hemoglobin molecule is 100 units, then it should be 95% of hemoglobin molecules carry the oxygen. Then it works very well. It should not be less. So we have to provide the good amount of oxygen. That is, our respiration should be the perfect. Then it only absorbs these hemoglobin molecules, the oxygen, and it carries with the blood flow and is supplied to the tissue cells. And this is a repeat cycle is going on in our body. There is a normal cells and cancerous cell difference. Normal cells this is a uniform shape, while the cancer cell is not uniform. Normal cells, there are shapes are divisible. It is not means different shapes are there. Second is may possess a different cell structures. Normal presentation in cell surface mark, while here there is elevated expression certain cells members. While the lower level of dividing cells tissues clearly demarcated, but here is not demarcation. The prevention is better than cure. Marie Curie says nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Second, this Florence says there are no specific disease, only specific disease conditions. The diseases are not coming from outside. When our body's conditions are favorable to that disease, then only that disease occurs in our body. Large number of cancerous cases can be prevented with a suitable health education and early detections. At the beginning of the century, the cancer was a 16th most common cause of death worldwide, but now it is a second leading cause because of our habit changes, lifestyle change. It is known that a large number of cancerous cases can be prevented with a suitable health education and early case detection. Knowledge is the best remedy and prevention is the best cure. Then how we take a primary preventions? We have to take the quality of the foods, we have to think, while the drugs, that is medicines, we have to take carefully, cosmetics, exercise, and then inhaling the oxygens in good quantity. Second is controlling the tobacco and alcohol consumption, because it increases the acidity in our body. So that if it is not avoidable, we have to control. Second, reductions of radiation exposures, personal hygiene and immunizations, measure to reduce the occupational exposures. These are secondary preventions. If anyone suffers, then he has to first registration, then early detection case, and then he has to go for treatment. Now, how to prevent the cancer? Cancer, that will go for this part. The oxygen level of the body, how we increases. If we take these steps every day, then oxygen level of the body is automatically we can maintain. First is exercise daily at least 30 minutes. There is always the difference between exercise and exertion. A lot of people, if you say the exercise, if you say that walking, exercise, people are saying we are at working place, we are always walking, or we are doing hard work. But exercise, there is a difference between exercise and exertion. The exercise means a regular movements of our body parts at particular rhythm. It is the exercise. While the exertion is the irregular movement of our body parts. Normally, if you walk in the market or in our workplace, that is the exertion. But if we go with the systematic in certain rhythm, we can do our activity. That is the exercise. It gives the energy. Second is the pranayam daily at least 10 minutes. That is breathing exercise. After this, I will explain you how we can make breathing exercise anywhere at any time. Third is that meditations daily at least 10 minutes. That is also we can do at anywhere, any place. The food which we keep alkalinity of the body fluid at higher side. We always try to eat food which gives the alkalinity to our body at higher sides. Then the people are asking what is the exercise? Exercise, what we can do? Exercise. There are the 3 groups of exercise we can do it. The morning or evening walk in fresh air, 30 minutes daily, at least. Or in India, there is we say that Surya Namaskar means there is some 12 times daily, or air rooms. And third is that treadmills, jogging or walking at higher speed at least 30 minutes. Then we can go for the breathing exercise, we say that pranayam. These are the exact positions of sitting for the breathing exercise, but it is not possible to everyone. So I will explain you after this my talk how to do that breathing exercise in anywhere, in simple position. Pranayama control, that is the breath. Sit at, this is the way how we can do it. Second, well, the benefits of that breathing exercise. Increase and enhance the quantity and quality of energy. Second, clears the whole energy around you. Makes one energetic, enthusiastic and positive. If in our body, if the oxygen level at higher sides, you also see we have the restlessness, there is always there, and positive thinking automatically comes. Bring harmony between the body, mind and spirit, making one physically, mentally and spiritually strong. That is, if we have the sufficient amount of oxygen all the time in our body, we are always the physically, mentally and spiritually strong. Then meditation, this is the exact position, but it is not possible to everyone. So I will explain you how to do it then also, anywhere, at simple position. The medicine, this is the process. The benefits of Dhyan is there. Dhyan has benefits for both the body and the mind. It will release the stress from the body. And stress is the one cause of cancers as well as is a cause of number of diseases also, others. Your mind will feel calmer and you will feel more at ease in life. And we can find more peace of mind in our daily business. Then this is the what we up till now we see how to maintain our body oxygen level higher side. Now we'll see how we'll maintain the alkalinity in our body at higher sides. When we keep the oxygen fluid such as our blood alkaline, we promote oxygenations. That is, our blood, if it is alkaline, then is always there is the oxygen level in our body at higher sides. This oxygen-rich fluid then battles our organs, baths our organs and tissues, in aid our cells to perform their job optimally. Our organs, especially the hearts, require this alkalinity. Our bones, if we not giving the sufficient quantity of alkalinity to our body, our blood, then our bone unnecessarily sacrifice. Our bone sacrifice themselves by giving up a precious alkalized mineral such as calcium and magnesium to keep the blood alkaline. So we always, if we want to save this sacrification, then we have to give always from outside this mineral to our body. Cancer prevention is only one aspect of reducing the acids in our body. The cell that has not been starved of oxygen and has a perfect pH balance cannot become infected with cancer. Well, these two things is very, very important in our body chemistry. First is the oxygen level, second is alkalinity of our body level. Cancer is the one aspect also there. The cancer is nothing else but a deficiency of vitamin B17. Then this vitamin B17 is also helps to maintain the alkalinity in our body. And how we can get it from our day-to-day life, from our foods, that I will explain you. These are the anti-cancer foods. The matter, this is the apricot, this is the present fruit stones on apple. This B17 is present in fruit stones of apple, apricots also. These are the different fruits and their seeds. So we can eat also, during the eating of foods, we try to eat their seeds also, like this watermelon, apricot seeds also. These are giving all vitamin B17. So this is the almond also. There is a theory if anyone at the latest, means early stage of cancer, if anyone take regularly 15 to 20 pieces of apricot stones, then it can recover also. The fruit stones, seeds of the fruits, these are the apple, apricot, peach, all these fruits are, you have to use in our day-to-day life. Then also common beans, grain, which include beans, lentil, then kernel. You can consider also the mulberries. All these are the main seasonal fruits also we have to use in our day-to-day life. Seed like the sesame, lean seeds, seed of linen, flax seeds, they are also giving the B17. Then oats also, brown rice, barley. These rice paddy. Also these are the grains. Eat these wheat birds or wheat sprouts, or we can say that wheat grass also. Wheat is a miraculous anti-cancerous medicine. It is a rich source of liquid oxygen and the strongest anti-cancer material, which means lateral, is contained in the wheat sprouts and wheat grass. So if anyone is facing or less energetic, if you take it normal people also, regular basis, or once in 1 month in a year, every day, you can recover all your weakness. Lima beans, flour, wheat grass, and almond. These are all the anti-cancer foods. These are the 5 cancer-fighting spices. In our day-to-day life, in our meal, if you include these 5 items every day, it is always helpful for us to prevent the cancer, or if any cancerous growth is there, it can remove also. Like this garlic, ginger, the cinnamon, turmeric, this one. The foods that kill the cancerous cells, all these foods, it can help to kill the cancerous cell. The juices, if we take juices of these fruits, means beets, carrots, tomatoes, all this one, it is also helpful for killing the cancerous cell, as well as it can increase the alkalinity in our body. So that in our day-to-day life, if once in a day, at least 1 glass of this juice, if you drink, you are always energetic. Even if it is not available, lemon is always available. If you take the lemon water also in a day, it is always help us to keep our health all the time in good way. These are the green vegetables also. It also helps lots. Then try to avoid the following foods. First is that we always try to avoid these foods because it increases the acidity in our body fluids. When our acidity increases, the oxygen level of our body is reduced. So we try to reduce or prevent to not avoid this food. One is junk food, then fried food, pizza, other fast food also. Then cold drinks, preservative foods, and canned food. Second is chewing tobacco, smoking cigarette, drinking any alcoholic liquors. Even if it is not avoidable, you can reduce it, the quantity. So it is always helpful for us to keeping the alkalinity in our body in good way. Secondly, when we take the sugar out, we are taking away the preferred fuel source for the cancerous cell. Sugar is the main fuel source for the cancer cell. So white sugar we try to avoid, that is the best way. Instead of white sugar, you can go for honey, means manuka, what we say, raisins and another sweets. Then this is that we seen that the hidden facts behind the cancer. Now it is depends on you how to act it. I will give after this demonstration about the breathing exercise, and after that, if you have any questions, I am ready to try to give you best answer. Okay? First, we'll do some breathing exercise. Whenever you are there, when you have sufficient time or you are waiting for someone, you are going visiting somewhere and you are waiting, so just sit at comfortable position without, and then deep breathing. Nobody knows also what you are doing. Yeah, but you are doing yourself in good place. So you can do it this at least now 5 times. Yeah. Deep breathing. Sometimes you are at home or nobody will see you. Just you close this nostril, inhale and exhale. Then close this one, opposite one. 5 times I'm saying. So you try to do maximum. Take it helps to maintain your respiration system in good conditions. Third is that way alternative. Just close this. It reduces your body stress automatically and oxygen or increase the oxygen level inside your body. And lastly, I will say that meditation. Yes, I will give me meditation. I want to keep alarm for 5 minutes. Okay? 5 minutes.
We can make it 3 with this one. That's short attention span. I mean, 3 minutes not really good.
3 minutes, okay. So meditation, if you do it, the alarm is already 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't think about the time now. Time is fixed. You just close your eye and observe the breathing inside and outside. Only observe. Don't think about the friends, families, place, where you are sitting, anything you call it. Just you relax sitting like this, and observe your breathing only in and out. 3 minutes, okay? You see, it produces, if you observe this, at least 5 to 10 minutes every day, anywhere you can see, just you observe. If the space is not secure, you can open your eye and observe only your breathing inside and outside. Your body stress automatically reduces and your oxygen level is maintained at higher sides. And it will helpful for you to prevent the number of diseases, including cancer. If anyone want to ask any questions, now it's free. The last slide. Last slide, if anyone wants to contact.
Last slide, the context.
Last slide.
We'll get to it. Question.
Yes.
Say that.
Is he want the last one?
Hello.
You gotta go.
Is it me? It's me. Okay. Thank you for your speech. Yeah. But you and many others says that white sugar is dangerous. My question is, why is white sugar dangerous, not brown sugar? Is that not dangerous?
Yeah.
And then it's one more. You, who I know, that tomatoes have something very good to prevent cancer. First of all, I forgot what the name of that substance is, and then I learned that some tomatoes have just 10% of that good things, that other have 100% kind of. So it's 1 to 10. And I don't know how you should know. When I read it, it was a lot of name of tomatoes, but I don't know nothing about them. They're red, I don't know. But first of all, sugar. Thank you.
There is a difference between white sugar and brown sugar. White sugar is required, means when they manufacture it makes for the white, they are using sulfur or in process, manufacturing process. So some quantity of sulfur is always there. And second, if we eat white sugar, it directly goes to the blood inside, and it gives your sugar level will increase without any time. While the brown sugar, it did not use the sulfur in the chemical process. Sulfur is a very dangerous chemical actually. So even minor side, means small quantity, it goes, you are taking all the time white sugar. That sulfur is accumulated in your body. And it makes some effect on your body cell, normal body cell. And its oxygen absorbing capacity is reduced. When any normal body cells oxygen capacity, absorbing capacity reduced, so it becomes a cancer cell. So we have to keep our all normal body cells in good conditions. So we have to try to avoid the chemicals which go inside in our body, harmful chemicals. And second, you are saying about the some chemical, product is 100%. You see, in the market there are a number of products. It depends on to who is supplying, and because every time it is not possible to check each and every product. There is always adulteration in our food also. Even if we are saying, but now if you take the direct food, means if you say that garlic, I am taking example, raw garlic, there is no adulteration. Yeah? Raw ginger, you take tea of that. there is no adulteration. So you try to go for the raw, direct food instead of chemical or modified synthetic food. Okay.
Thank you for the motivation that you had to research this. I totally concur with your oxygenation and the alkaline thing. I think what I want to talk about is a lot of times we come here and we just sort of sit and we listen to the speaker and we walk out, we don't think more about it. My daughter, my youngest daughter, less than 40 years old, I think she was 38, had breast cancer. And I'm telling you, it was a grievous operation, a very grievous process. She had 4 chemo treatments. After each chemo treatment, for about a 2 or 3 week period, she could hardly keep anything down. She was vomiting a lot. She was in a tremendous discomfort. Then she had a double mastectomy because there was a potential that the other breast could have had another breast cancer. So to prevent that, she had a double mastectomy. And now she's going through a rebuilding process. So the concept of let's prevent it is the best cure than going through it. I really encourage you today to, when you leave here, take a few minutes and think about what this gentleman has talked about. Think about your diet, think about your habits, think about those things because you do want to prevent this. You do not want to go through it.
Because health is wealth. If you prevent your health right from the beginning, you will become also the wealthy automatically.
Hello, is it okay to take every day a little bit baking soda to make your body alkaline, more alkaline?
You see, baking soda is also one chemical, synthetics. Instead of that, if you go for the lemon water, simple. Every day hot for lemon water. It also maintains your body alkalinity very well. Second is the cinnamon powder. If you make the tea, cinnamon powder tea, it also helpful for to maintain your alkalinity. These are all the natural products. Baking powder, baking soda, all these are the chemical, manufacturing synthetic chemicals. So instead of that, if you go to the nature, always, it is always more beneficial and there is no side effects. So I prefer and I will also suggest that if you want to maintain the alkalinity all the time, you always drink water, means lemon water in a day, or cinnamon tea, or ginger tea like this. It is helpful for us. And also try to eat green vegetables. Vegetable in raw state, that is, we say that tomato, or we say that another also, whatever is vegetable, we can eat in raw state. That is the best.
Mr. Daiki, thank you very much for what you've done today. If we look at the world divided into two, the Western so-called world and the Asian, we live here in Asia and we find that the food is very different than we find around us. Which is more prevalent to have the cancer problem and why, if you know why?
Yes, sir. I've seen in Asians, people, they are taking green vegetables, and vegetables in their meals in more quantity, and this uncooked or meat, they are eating less. The meat is the one problem is that if we eat meat, there is if we sufficient quantity of it means you don't know the limit of your body of eating. If you like it, taste, you eat more, and that will go to your stomach. And if it is not digested, that remains in your stomach, and then it is fermented, and then that fermented makes the chemicals, and it reduces your alkalinity in your body, and increase acidity, and that acidity is affected. So we try to avoid, try to go for more and more vegetables. I prefer and I suggest. And try to reduce the meat quantity. That may be the fish or any red meat also. Try to reduce and go for always vegetable, fruits. Fruits are there, their juice. That is the best.
Yes. Mr. Kaki?
Yes.
Correct? I loved your presentation today. It's very, very relevant to everyone in here. I can assure you that we're pretty much all not alkaline at the moment. We need to be alkaline. Is there a way that we can test our body to find out if we are alkaline or not? I'd like to get your opinion on it. I've got an answer myself, but I'd like to get your opinion on that. I test myself on a regular basis. But what's your opinion on that?
Yes. If that is a normal, we regular checkup our body. Yeah. If we are having problem, or regular check, that is alkalinity, oxygen level. Is there a method for checking?
Okay. A simple urine test. We can test our alkalinity level just by a simple urine test.
Yeah.
Little swabs I've got at home, I test myself on a regular basis, and I take medication which is natural to keep my body alkaline. Also, I have vitamin C injections on a regular basis and vitamin B12 injections to keep my energy levels up. So I'd like to thank you once again for your speech today, presentation. It's been very educational. Thank you once again.
Mr. Gaiety, thank you. Just a couple of things. One, when you say the lemon water, is that water just normal water? You put a slice of lemon in? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. So it's very cheap. You just buy it.
I'm saying instead of taking injection or any medicine from outside, if you take 3 spices, I explain you 5 spices. Out of the 3 spices regularly, that is one is that lemon, second is garlic, third is ginger and cinnamon and turmeric. They are the best all the time if you take little. I'm not saying that you have to take more quantity, little quantity at regularly. So your alkalinity of your body is always good. Turmeric powder, if you take every day in hot water, little, it is antiseptic also. It reduces all your acidity and all these things.
So it's not actually lemon juice as such, it's the slice of a lemon sitting in water that helps alkalinize the water. So incredibly cheap to do.
Yeah, quarter of lemon, half lemon, just take it.
So the other thing I wanted to ask a question about, I used to eat a lot of watermelon, and I used to make a watermelon seed tea. I think it was Jonathan Winter recommended this.
Yeah.
That you chop up the seeds of the watermelon and make an infusion with it. And that's a good anti-cancer thing, because I noticed you mentioning the seeds.
Seeds also you can eat. Now normally, most of the people, they are throwing seeds of watermelon. But watermelon seeds is very good for one is that stomach cleaning. Also, it is also good for vitamin B17. It contains. So if you eat that also, it is very good for our health.
On your left.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is John. I have a couple observations and a couple questions. One observation is when I go into my doctor these days, instead of just having my blood pressure and my temperature taken, they now check my oxygen levels with a little finger device. You can get those devices on Lazada for yourself between 348 baht and 599 baht. They're called oxygen meters, and they measure the oxygen in your blood. One of my questions is, I am gluten intolerant, and I was wondering, you recommended the wheat berries, the wheat grass, the wheat buds, so forth. Do those have gluten in them?
Those that? I don't know. Wheat grass, yes?
Yes, I am intolerant to wheat gluten, as a lot of people seem to be these days. and you recommended some of the products to
Yes.
reduce your risk of cancer or wheat, berries,
Yes, I
grass.
understand now. The wheat grass is a product that is already means mentioned. The oxygen level inside, liquid oxygen level inside the wheat grass is higher side. And it cures the cancer, also it prevents the cancer. And it is also good for general health. That is, if anyone take once month in a 1 year, your health is always good. If you are suffering some acidity, you take it regularly. It reduces your acidity, increases the alkalinity level. It is just like a green blood, we say that. It helps like this. So a lot of people in my life, I have given the lectures in a lot of places, and they are asking where it is available. So now we are making it available in Thailand also. Some samples also is here, and if anyone wants that one, we will send it to you.
So what he's saying is he's got 29 free sample sachets of powdered wheatgrass for people who wants to try one. Well, the gluten is made in the seed of the wheat.
If I might finish, please. The other question I had was, I had also recently read about glucose being the only thing that cancer cells will absorb, including glucose from white rice, white bread, pasta, so forth. But a lot of fruits are recommended, which are fructose, not glucose. And I know people who are on this only fruit diet. So is that correct in my assumption that fructose is not absorbed by the cancer cells?
Exactly. No. Fructose, that is whatever is present in fruits. It takes a lot of time to make glucose. So it goes to, when we eat, then it converted by insulin to the glucose, and it goes to the blood. It takes a lot of time. And the availability of that glucose to cancerous cell is not so easy, because it is also, because our body is required also glucose. If anyone say from today, I will not any sweet things, even fruits, it may be face problem. Because our body, especially brain, is required glucose in good quantity. So it is always required sweets, means from outside. So we, fructose, whatever we are taking, white sugar, is not is going directly to the blood, and it is available to this all diseases cells, and they are eating. And will not means insulin is there, the conversion time is not there. So it affected on our body. That's why the fructose, we have to eat more and more quantity of fruits. There is no problem. Any fruits. We always think whatever the nature given us, that if we eat more, it is always good for us. And whatever the man-made synthetics, that is always harmful.
Thank you. Yeah, I heard it explained that glucose is digested in your stomach and immediately goes into your system, whereas fruit has to go all the way through to your liver, and that's why you get glycemic spikes from glucose, but you don't get it from sugar. I mean from fruit. Another quick observation is those alkaline test strips. Again, you can buy from Lazada for about 69 baht. That you take a urine test and it will tell you where your alkaline level is at a particular time. The last thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned it last week, so excuse me if I repeat myself, I think it's important that my friend who had pancreatic cancer, originally diagnosed with only 2 months to live, his Thai wife took him off of all vitamin supplements, put him on a plant-based diet, little bit of meat, but mostly 80% vegetables and fruit, and he stopped all alcohol intake, even his 1 or 2 beers that he used to enjoy a day. He lived another 6.5 years.
So this will be the last question on the other side. I just have a quick question about the juicing method. When you said, I seen a lot of different things, garlic, turmeric, and you said you could juice that daily. I know there's fast masticating juicers and slow juicers, and I've always been told that the faster you juice something, you break down the nutrients in it by eating it before you drink it. So I just wondered if you had an opinion on that, the juicing method you should apply when you're making a juice that you have.
Juice therapy, we were thinking about juice therapy.
Well, no, what I was saying is that, I mean, I would assume that eventually you have to put garlic, turmeric, and everything into a juicer to juice it.
Juicer, yes.
Yes, but a lot of juicers spin super fast,
Ah.
actually heats up the juice, and I heard that that breaks down the nutrients and the vitamins in the juice.
Exactly.
So I was wondering your opinion if we should
You
use a
also-
slow masticating juicer or a fast juicer.
Exactly. I understand you. The juices, if we only you can take the juice, fruit juice with mixer. Means there is also fibers are there. So it is always helpful for you. More if we go, if the fruits fibers go inside the body, it helps for the digestions. And high speed juicer only it gives just like waters. Like it's helps. It also helps, but it is not better than this one. The fiber juice is always good. High speed juicer. Instead of that, you go for slow speed. Also, some fibers are there. You always good for digestion. Yes.
Another round of applause for our speaker, please. He drove down all the way from Bangkok to share his insights with us, so thank you, Mr. Keiki. And because we've had a little presentation for you, thank you. Thank you very much.